What is the nationally determined contribution and why is it important? The determination I think we're trying to figure out. If you can't be projected, then I'll just go from the computer and just go through it.
Is it from here with the?
Yes. Okay. All right, Minister, thank you for welcoming us this morning in your beautiful edifice. I think this is really good. And then, as I was telling you, this is how we demonstrate government. Government has a place of excellence. So whenever we set the example, we expect everyone to follow us. I'm extremely impressed with the work that has been done here and how beautiful even the conference room is. Thank you very much. The delegation from Uganda. Thank you for joining us as well. Like the other minister said, the composition of your delegation speaks volume to our relationship. And our friends from the LCRC, LEC, my colleague from EPA, and everyone here, I join all of us to welcome you this morning. I wanted to speak to you, or not even wanted to, I was speaking to you on net metering and the NDC, our nationally determined contribution, in a few minutes. So we take on the diplomatic hat and put a little bit hat of professorship, which we also do as part of our job in terms of what we do. So we're going to look at the nationally determined contributions, commitment that countries make. What is it? We'll look at a little bit of net metering and how net metering supports the nationally determined contribution, how it aligns with Liberia's own nationally determined contribution. We'll look at some policy recommendations, what we are doing now, and the legal framework behind that. I think that's what I wanted me to start with this. Guys, what you guys said, I can get talking right here and we don't have to project it. It's going to be a bit of a distraction, so
yeah, we're
let's not force it too much.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want people to pay attention to what I'm saying. If you're doing that, it's a little bit distraction. We don't have to show it. But I mean, be singing to the choir. These are people who know this stuff. I just want to get a little bit of background. The nationally determined contribution, they are country-specific climate actions. Just to give you a background, the earth is warming. What is causing the earth to warm? The burning of fossil fuel. The sources, one of those is, especially in the developed world where they burn coal and other things to generate electricity, is contributing a big portion of the greenhouse gas that is warming the earth. What do we do about it? So in 2015, the world gathered in Paris to come up with this document called the Paris Agreement. And part of that agreement says each country determine how you lower your greenhouse gas emission. So it's called nationally determined contribution. So each country by yourself, tell us how you're going to be able to reduce your greenhouse gas and we'll hold you accountable to it. So all countries in the span of 5 years, we developed a document called the nationally determined contribution and we sent to the UNFCCC. And then we'll follow up in terms of implementation of that. The goal is to lower the global temperature below 2 degrees Celsius. And our goal is 1.5. It's getting tougher now to get that. So the reduction that will include emission reduction, especially in energy. And there we talk about renewable energy and the measure we take to adapt to climate change. This document is reviewed every 5 years. We are now reviewing the Liberia one, which is NDC 3.0. We're reviewing it currently. Every 5 years it's developed and it's reviewed. It's really a backbone to how we get our climate situation under control. Examples include like the one we developed last time. We said Liberia will reduce its greenhouse gas emission between below business as usual by 64% by 2030. This is the goal we are trying to get to. By 2030, we should reduce our greenhouse gas emission by 64%. In Gambia, our colleagues are here. I was reading about them this morning. They plan to reduce theirs, if I'm making a mistake, please correct me, by 49.7% in their NDC 2.0. So we're going to reduce it by 49.7% by 2030.
Right.
Countries like Germany, which is a developed country, they say they want to be net zero by 2045, so they don't want to have any greenhouse gas emission. Because these all include energy as a big part, energy, agriculture, and a big portion of it. So if we take that background information about the NDC, then why is it that we do net metering then? Net metering is where consumers generate electricity, especially from solar. And then as they do that, the surplus they will get, for instance, I have electricity at my house, solar, if I'm generating a lot during the day, the excess I can be able to feed back to the national grid. I credit the grid. In the night, they can be repaid. So when we do that barter system, at the end, my energy bill will be very low. It's net metering. When we do that, we give incentive to ordinary citizens for them to get into renewable energy, because it will drastically reduce their energy bill. At some point, they will make profit. If they can generate excess and help the grid, they will be able to make profit. They can even get money in terms of that. The policy-driven developed should be looking at those kind of scenarios. So it would encourage renewable energy generation. How it supports the NDC. So it drives small-scale renewable energy deployment. So instead of relying on the grid, so when there's a problem with the grid, then everyone feels problem. We decentralize our energy system on rooftop, everywhere, small, So even if the grid has problem, people still have access to electricity. So it decentralizes energy generation. It replaces fossil fuel. So when we do that, we're not going to be burning a lot of fossil fuel, and we're helping to lower the emission that is causing the global warming. It enhances consumer participation in energy efficiency, and will reduce pressure on the overall grid of the energy of the country. How it aligns this with the Liberia nationally determined contribution, it will promote energy democracy. We talk about decentralization already. Encouraging private sector and household investment, because people now can be able to invest and be able to get return on their investment. They can invest more. It supports creation of green jobs and skill development when we do that. The more we get renewable energy, the more we put people to work, the more we have access to clean energy. It enhances great stability in emerging economies such as Liberia. It will help us for community to build resilience against climate change. For the policy recommendations, that's what we are doing now. For net metering to take place, you need to have a policy in place and a regulation in place that define what it is, how do you use it, how the system should integrate, what are the benefits and the risks associated. Those all have to be developed in a policy and eventually into a regulation that guide the process. When we do that, we will link this then to the nationally determined contribution, because now we are reducing our greenhouse gas emission by using renewable energy. We can calculate that reduction. We can say this is how, as part of the 64%, this is how we are reducing because we're using land more. There also even a possibility wherein that can be calculated for carbon credit. We can also be able to generate carbon credit from it. But for this to happen, we need to conduct a lot of awareness to get our people informed. While Liberia is getting involved with this, there is law to back it. Like the minister said, we have policies to back it. The electricity law of 2015 clearly laid the foundation for Liberia to go renewable energy. The renewable energy, the rural renewable energy, even the act that created them, everything they do is embedded within it. What nation, of course, we are here. Mines and Energy, LERC, EPA, LEC, and other institutions. So I think this is the background. We're not to set it up, not to bore you up, but we're going to say that what we're doing is backed by law, is backed by the Paris Agreement, And everything we're doing here is in place. They are structurally done and it has a lot of benefit. Thank you very much.